Okay, hi everyone and welcome back. So today I would like to talk a little bit about that Thames Ring 250 challenge. So what is it, why 250 miles, and where is that idea come from? So let's start it with that Thames Ring 250. So it's 250 miles which includes 102 miles on the Thames River, 94 miles on the Grand Union Canal, as well as 54 miles on the Oxford Canal, and that including around 200 locks to transition. So this challenge was really hard. And why 250? Because last year I finished the Thames 200 Ultra paddler on the Thames River from Teddington to from Lechley to Teddington, no tidal section with 44 locks to transition. And when I crossed the finish line, I still had so much energy, and I thought, could I paddle that distance back? And then that's why this idea came from. So I thought I should be able to paddle that distance back, so that will give me the 250 miles. So that was the first idea. But then later like about maybe 4-5 months before that Thames 200 Ultra, one of my friends, Rafał Kruk, he asked me if I could paddle that distance, but on a different I would say different water. So partially was of course on the Thames River, but he comes up with the Thames Ring 250, which is normally is a running challenge, very known running challenge, and he decided to run that distance and asked me if I could just go like doing with him, but on the paddleboard. So I checked that one, and I checked, and I realized that Thames Ring 250 is accessible on the water. So I said, why not? I'm gonna do that one instead. So, and of course that brings the challenge even more harder, because not only including the Thames River, it will be cover 102 miles on the Thames River, which is okay, and but the most challenging bits was doing the paddle on that both canals, which including that Grand Union Canal 94 miles, and then 94 miles on the Grand Union Canal, as well as a 54 on the Oxford Canal. And when I checked that route and then create the GPX file for my watch, I realized that there is like almost 200 locks to transition, and I knew the canals will be really challenging, because earlier this year I was paddling from Northampton to London, and that was including around 100 locks to transition. So I knew how hard it will be during the summer, because the water in the canals are very shallow, and when the water is heat up, is like paddling through the soup. It's really, the thickness, the density of the water is different, and it's much harder to paddle. So yes, so that's where this idea come from, and that's 250. And I thought, oh, why not to paddle that one? So that was really interesting. But unfortunately Rafał couldn't do the challenge with me, so I decided, because he couldn't get the time off the same time as me, so I decided to do on my own, and I set up the rules for myself. So it was only allowed one checkpoint with the crew, and that was the halfway point. And I decided to do like a non-stop paddle, unsupported. Like I said, only one crew checkpoint, halfway point. But from there to that point, and from that point I was only rely on myself. Anything I could get from the shop is allowed, etc. So yes, so I decided, and on the 12th of August 7 p.m. I started that challenge. And yeah, it was really hard. I didn't know, I prepared, I was already prepared for that challenge. Earlier this year I was running my first goal, which was my running goal. I ran the 100k on the Serpent Trail. Yes, and when I managed to like achieve that goal, I also had in mind that second goal for the paddleboarding, and that's why I decided to do that challenge this year. So those two main goals was for this year. So yes, so I started on 12th of August 7 p.m. from Goring on Thames, on that Goring Lock. That's where I started that loop. And first section was, as I mentioned in a previous video, that was 72 miles up to the Brentford Lock, where the Grand Union Canal was meet the Thames River. So that section was not bad, to be honest, because this was all on the Thames River. But only the last section from Teddington Lock to the Brentford, because that was the tidal section, 5.2 miles on the tidal section. So that was really demanding on the body, I would say. It was require lots of energy, so I lost lots of energy over there because I was paddling against the tides. I just want to be on Brentford Lock on, you know, when the water is pretty high, so I can transition from that Thames River to Grand Canal Union. So yes, so that was I set up like 24 hours from that Goring Lock to the Brentford Lock. Then after that I transitioned. That was I already paddled through the first night. So first night wasn't as bad. It was pretty warm during the night, and the day was pretty warm as well. Only later on in the day, when I was close to the London, the storm was coming and was lightning, so I have to go out of the water and then just wait till that storm will goes away. So once this was getting brighter, I jump on the water and start paddling. So like I said, first night was no problem. Then of course, you know, like after the first night it's not as much sleep deprivation, so I was still in good spirit, I would say, and still have a lots of energy, and my focus was still clear. But when I approached the second night, then when things start getting different, because I already didn't sleep for so many hours, and of course your body is responding completely different. You need to be more careful on the locks, and of course when you paddling through the night. So yeah, that was pretty challenging from that point on the second night. And of course nights, the second, third, fourth and fifth night been much colder. So I found, because the body already didn't sleep, my body didn't sleep, so the temperature, my body temperature was different, and then I felt each morning was really like freezing morning. My whole body was like shivering during the mornings, even if I had so many layers on me, including the jacket as well, and then, you know, like a hoodie, so everything, but still my body was really cold. I was like shivering. So yes, but I managed to do that first section, and like I said, second section was that the Grand Union Canal, and this was really hard going through that, all these logs with that dirty water. It was even more challenging. and to be honest, I didn't drink much. I only used, I think, maybe 2 liters maximum of the water during that 5 days challenge, but the rest of the I would say the rest of fluid I took from my nutritions, because I had some like a juice and other stuff which I was taking with my other nutrition. So only the water which I had in my bladder on the back of my PFD, I use barely, just like small sips, just to, you know, once I don't know, every maybe 5 miles, or I can't remember, but I didn't drink as much, I think, even during the day when it was really hot. So yes, so that was the one. And once I finished that Grand Union Canal, I was transitioned to the Oxford Canal, and it was 54 miles on the Oxford Canal, and this was really challenging as well, because that was including lots of logs as well. So yeah, and then especially the nights been the worst, because I didn't really sleep much during the whole challenge. I only had like micro power naps, about maybe 15 minutes long, and always it was, I don't know why, but it was stressing me out, that the foxes. Every time when I stopped, you know, like for that tiny micro power nap, I always had in mind that the foxes just, they are around, because every time when I stop somewhere in the middle of nowhere with the forest, and with, you know, like so I was always, I don't know why, but I was stressed about that foxes. This was playing on my mind. I couldn't really sleep, because I thought that the foxes could, you know, get closer to me. I don't know, I should probably more be scared of people than animals, but yeah, this is what was playing in my head on that time. So, and once I get to that from the Oxford Canal, when I was transitioned to the Thames River, which was already on, like, I was already after fourth night, then was the fifth night when I was going to that Thames River, and then only 30 miles was left to that to the finish line. But it sounds like on that time, I remember it was like maybe 10 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, when I was in Oxford, when I was transitioned to that Thames River, and I remember I said, oh, it's only 30 miles left, but the difference between the canals and the river is like huge. Once I was transitioned to the Thames River, felt like 100% lighter in the water than was on the canal. So it was relief, but still it was 30 miles to go, which I was already like sleep deprivation, you know, I didn't sleep much, and you know, like I was a little like dizzy. Of course, my focus wasn't as clear, so I have to take extra care on the logs. So definitely one huge tip for everybody who doing the long distances, especially when you transition on the logs, make sure your laces are tied up, you know, and tackle like inside, so they cannot be undone as easy, because this can create the risk of falling to the log or near the log, or wherever you will be transition. And this is quite important, because when you fall, you may hit something, and yeah, you never know what can. So to prevent that one, it is a good advice to just look after your laces. They need to be really tackled. Yeah, I'm using the method from running, and I tackle under my lace, already done laces under my laces. So but I managed to paddle all the way, and when I saw that the coring lock, it was just relief. It was very challenging in terms of the sleeping deprivation. Second things, I had an issue with my, not issue, I think standing for more than like 4.5 days on the board was challenging for the body, especially for the legs, because my legs been like swollen at the ankles and near the knees as well. So even if I had like a compression socks or compression sleeves, so this was still very swollen legs. And of course my neck was like killing me some reason. So this was my second like challenge. The body itself, the muscles, everything was fine. It's just that neck and standing for so long was challenging. But I knew in my head that I can finish that challenge, and when I start I already knows that I'm gonna finish, even if I knew that will be really challenging, or even going to unknowns, because I didn't know how my body will respond for so many nights without the sleep. That was only like a question mark, which I couldn't really practice, so this was only going to like to the place when I never been before in terms of my pushing my body with like a sleep deprivation. In terms of the distance, like I said, I've done the Thames 200 before. Earlier on I was paddling to like from Northampton to London. That was I think 82 miles. Last year I was paddling before the Thames 200. I was paddling from Northampton to the sea. That was 91 or 92 miles as well. And I think year before also I've done the 100 miles on the canal, paddling from one lock to the other. I think was, I don't know, 8 or 10 times. It was like 10 kilometers long, 10 kilometer distance between the locks, and I was paddling up and down for 100 miles. Took me I think 29 and a half hours. So yes, that is pretty much what it's like to paddle that 250 miles. Definitely is a huge challenge. I'm not gonna paddle that every week. So this was like, yeah, it's one of these one time life challenges when you do once and maybe never go back to this again. But I don't know, for now is definitely don't wanna paddle as far. I can still manage like 100 miles, which is it will require only one night to paddle through the one night. That's not a problem. And I have done this one on the 12.6 board, inflatable board, 12.6 by 30 by 6 inches thickness. And the reason why I've done on this board, because I had only this board available. I didn't have any other boards. Last year when I was doing the Thames 200, I was higher the board and was longer board. Definitely with the longer board, of course, as everybody knows, you paddle much faster. So that definitely on the longer board I could do this in like maybe 10 hours faster or something like this, close to probably 10 hours, I would say, between 12.6 and then 14 board. But this is what I had available, and I decided to do that one, and I set up the world record for 12.6 board Yes, if I could have maybe different board, this board which I have here is not the lightest board, but it's also not easy to paddle as well compared to the other 12.6 boards, but this is what I had available and that's why I decided. So yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully that was give you a little bit view of that challenge. So thank you very much and see you on the next video. If you've got any questions or anything you would like me to discuss or explain a little bit more, then yes, just please comment below and let me know and see what I can do. Don't know what else need to add, but yes, I'm really happy that I managed to complete and achieve my 2 goals for this year, which was 100k in running and 250 miles on the paddleboards on the Thames Ring 250. I'm so happy and thank you very much for all people who supported me and helped me to on that challenge and who believes in me. Thank you very much and see you on the next mission. Bye now.